Hi Libra, this is your mid-January 2019 reading. Happy New Year to all of you. Libra, right off the bat in January 2019, we have two eclipses. I spoke about the first eclipse in a separate video on the eve of the new year, which was focused on your home and family and emotional foundations. The aim of that eclipse was to bring you to the next level. It was sort of an endurance test of your emotional life, which brought to focus something in your home and family and your emotional foundation that has got to change for you to progress towards the next stage in both your personal life and your professional life. Something new initiated as a sort of change in the way of your home environment, change in the way of your family responsibility, change in the way you are as a parent, to sort of unclutter your life, to sort of open your life up and unclutter your feelings about something that has been holding you back to reach to the next stage in your career. And that will be the theme of 2019, because we'll have 3 eclipses in this area during the course of 2019. Also, we have Saturn, Pluto, South Node together for the first time ever during the course of middle of 2019 coming together, and they are there to change the very rules, the emotional foundation by which you run your life, the way you relate to other people, the way you sort of manage your inner life, because this inner life change will bring about a change that will help you make much better progress in your outer life, in your career, in your leadership. Because 2019 all the way to middle of 2020, we have North Node or Rahu in your career sector, which means that we'll be getting new opportunities of growth, once in 19 years kind of opportunities of growth in your career sector. So there'll be all lights on you in terms of your leadership skills, in terms of your reputation, in terms of how you want to be recognized, what do you want to be known for. And as you try to make a name for yourself, as you try to make a legacy, a reputation for yourself, the foundations and the way you manage your relationship will come into importance. And they will also come into importance because you are a relationship sign. So managing people, managing relationship, being a leader, these are your strengths. So in order to get to the next stage, you're sort of growing this part of your life. This is a developmental exercise of reaching to the next stage in terms of maturity of how you handle people, how you handle relationships, how do you handle tough emotional situations, which will build the endurance required for you to do well in a leadership position. Now, the second eclipse that is happening on 21st of January, it is coming with a few surprises. It's coming with Uranus. So it is more of a wild card energy as compared to the first half of the month, because of which the second half of the month has more impulsive, more wild card events like Brexit, which are happening, the outcome of which are not really clear at this stage. And what is happening in the second half of the month is that this eclipse is focused on your social network. You're launching something to a set of people which is based on the aspirations, on the goals, on sort of your growth path that you have envisioned over the course of last 1.5 years. And this launch, whether it is a new idea or it is a new product or it is some sort of new connection in a society, in a business network that you're creating, it will help you bring to the next level in your career, because it is happening with North Node. So something has to come out of it, some beneficial aspect has to come out of that eclipse that will help you be bigger, more popular, have a better fan base, have more gains in terms of your reputation, in terms of your influence at a large scale. And it is sort of coming to fruition as a result of you taking a risk on your creativity, you putting an effort into your creativity, you sort of trying to get over the blockage of being able to show your talents out to the world, you giving up the hindrance that was stopping you from standing up for your talents, for standing up for your leadership skill, for standing up for your talents essentially. And as you get over, and that's why, as I said, that handling the foundational issues are important for 2019, because we are removing the blockages, the landmines that hide below the surface, that are stopping us from coming to our full power in the outer sense, in the outer world. And this is a beautiful eclipse. It does come with certain karmic events. It does come with certain sudden communication, sudden encounters, which you'll experience during the second half of the month. And those are the encounters that will free you, that will provide you freedom, that will provide you innovation in the way you handle partnerships, the way you handle people, the way you sort of deal with other people, the way you are relatable to other people, the way you relate to other people is undergoing a big amount of change. And we can draw on the parallel with the politicians, with certain leaders who are visible in the society, to look at how their life has modified as a result of the changes and the eclipses that are coming about. One of those examples is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who's a diplomat, a politician, and a Democrat who's come into focus recently. And that is an example of some of the people, some of the leaders who are coming into focus for them handling certain things head on, who are coming into focus because they're giving up their hindrance from coming out and speaking up. And Kamala Harris is looking to stand up probably for 2020 elections, and she's come out just recently with a book. She's a Libran too, and she's a cusp Libran. The cusp Librans are really activated right now, especially who have a cusp with Scorpios. They're really activated at this stage. And then we have Theresa May. Theresa May is an early Libran, but at the same time, and her overall chart is different. But you can draw the parallels, and United Kingdom as a country has an ascendant of Libra as well. So the kind of foundational changes in the way they handle the strength that their foundations are receiving, so they can handle the public scrutinies, that they can handle the feedback that will come because of them being put in the spotlight, is sort of the focus that I wanted to bring out with the parallels that are being drawn. Similarly, the way the changes United Kingdom is undergoing right now, its emotional endurance as a country is being tested, but it is creating a freedom from an old way of being, which probably the country has outgrown at this stage, so it can go to the next stage. Now, whether the way it is being done is right or not, but the process of growth that is coming out as a result of that is something that we are looking to draw parallel from. The way it is looking to innovate its relationship with its partner, where it is looking to remain independent, but at the same time have a trade deal or something in place as a relationship that you continue to work with other people while maintaining your emotional independence. That theme, drawing that theme, how do we draw that balance in our relationships is a very important theme of the second eclipse, because you have Uranus in your partnership sector. We are looking to connect with other people while we remain relatable, but at the same time we maintain the requisite independence that we seek, the independence in our opinion, the independence that is required to give us the time and the space to operate as a leader, essentially. So these are the kind of the themes that I wanted to draw from these public examples, and I'll get into the details of things now. As usual, I'll leave timestamps for you to come back to, though I would recommend to go through the whole reading, because I'll cover the themes that are not just important for January and the second eclipse, but they're important for the first 6 months of the year. Thank you so much for sticking with me, and let's look at the details now. Going into the details of things, we have 4 planets this month in your home and family sector. There's a lot of focus on connecting with the family, on fixing the foundations of the place that you live in, fixing the foundations of your emotional security, looking at what's happening essentially in our personal life, in our inner life, new ideas for home, new ideas for creating efficiency in the routines at home that give you the requisite personal space and support to some extent to pursue your career. You're looking at creating a space that is more comfortable for you. You're creating deeper relationships with the people in your life and sort of spending time on them. You're talking about your inner life to some extent to see what kind of things that can be changed in your personal life to give you more emotional comfort, to give your relationship a more pleasant feel. You're looking to get some practical solutions to the issues that might exist in the home or family. If you have become a parent recently, maybe there are certain responsibilities or the way you're conducting those responsibilities that needs to undergo change. So there might be certain responsibilities, certain way of conducting your responsibilities in your home and family sector that will undergo change as a result of that. And we had a new moon in the same area, which was a partial solar eclipse that happened on 6th of January, and that was first of the 3 eclipses that will happen in your home and family sector. This eclipse was a solar eclipse, or it was a new moon, so some fresh energy was introduced into your home and family, certain new routines, certain new energy into your place of living, maybe a relocation, maybe changing the way you're handling the home, maybe sort of redecorating, clearing out your personal space, or buying certain new things for the home, certain change in the way you handle parenthood, or maybe a new parenthood, new responsibility coming as a result of that eclipse. Because the ruler of that eclipse is Saturn, and Saturn is all about discipline. It is all about pruning what is extra that is not serving you and your family, so clearing out, uncluttering the actual things and the feelings that are bogging you down, because clutter in the house or clutter in the mind both hold us back. So we're looking to remove the clutter in our personal life, and also to look at certain practical manners. You're looking to sort of bring your home property improvements in an efficient manner, so get ahead of this energy. Saturn requires us to put an effort into our house. It requires us to get ahead of the game and get certain home repairs, get certain work done on the home. And at the same time, if you're looking to buy or invest into real estate, it will give you opportunities to invest into certain new homes or certain new real estate, or invest in your house in form of buying the requisite things to get that done. You're looking at what has got to go to help you grow in your emotional lives, for you to sort of express your full potential. What is your support system, and what are the gaps in your support system that need to be healed in order for you to be supported, in order to for you to feel supported in your security sector. You're looking at new starts, but they come with certain letting go, certain old comfort, certain old comfort zones have got to go. And you're looking at what are the things in your emotional life that are limiting your professional growth, essentially, that are limiting your external experience. What is there in our inner life that stops our external expression to some extent? And Saturn is present at 12 degree to 14 to 15 degree during the course of this month. So if you have any planets around 12 to 15 degree of Libra, or if you're born between 5th to 8th of October, you would feel this this sort of availability of Saturn's influence in your personal life. Maybe more effort required in home, more effort required into family, more effort required to sort out our emotional life, and our emotional foundations would be felt more potently for you. But it is a very critical developmental stage where we are removing the old security blanket. It is sort of a growth area where we are moving to the next stage by removing our old security blanket. It could be maybe we are leaving the house that we live in, maybe we are leaving our parents in terms of getting more independent, or we are leaving the old emotional patterns that were sort of securing us. We are coming out as the head of the family, whether we are a male or a female. We are taking more of a leadership role in managing the peace, the growth, the parenthood in our family to some extent. So, adding certain responsibilities while releasing old patterns is the theme of Saturn in this house and the eclipse that happened on 6th of January, which will continue to influence you till the 2nd of July when the next set of eclipses happen. But the potent impact of these changes that you're trying to bring about in your personal life will only come around 5th of February when Saturn will be visible, because Saturn is not visible this month. So there might be some confusion. You know, there are issues, there are things, inefficiencies in the house, clutter in the house, or things that are not sorted. But the true structure, the real structure will emerge slowly, especially the larger things. I mean, clutter is a small thing to remove to some extent, but larger changes in life, like buying a new house, getting into the documentation of a new house, or shifting a house, or shifting certain emotional patterns which are sort of not helping you, hence resolution of a personal problem to some extent in home and family or with parents, will come further into fruition around 5th of February when Saturn is visible. If you're purchasing a new house or you're getting into a new family situation, that situation might undergo a few changes over the course of 2019 as we change our style. We change our style of parenting, we change our style of handling our home and family, we change the styling of our home, we change the styling of our place of living to some extent. That structure, those rules, that guidelines that you're creating in your home and family, they will undergo modification over the course of 2019 as we develop further in our emotional life, in our family life. And Saturn will revisit this eclipse point 3 times during the course of 2019. First meeting is on 5th of February when the first visibility of a clear structure, some sort of order will come about in the first week of February, and you'll feel it, that the effort that you've put this month in getting that order in, whether it is in terms of streamlining how you handle your schedule with your family, how you handle your time with your children, how do you handle your time with the parents, how do you clean your house, how do you follow the rules and regulation or boundaries in the way you handle things of the house or the day-to-day work in the house or certain amount of home repairs. The first visibility of output of that will come around 5th of February. Then the next level of changes will come around 1st of August. Then the third level of change will come around 1st of November. So you'll see that you're starting something that is for long term, that will serve you for long term, because Saturn comes in our home and foundation sector only once in 29 years, and it is your critical axis. So your entire life, whether it is your personal life, your professional life, or your partnerships, or your physical body, all of that will be affected by the changes that you're making right now, especially your health. Making changes in terms of you nourishing your body correctly. This is not just the emotional foundation, this is physical foundation of who you are. Is your home, your place of living, your family both emotionally and physically nourishing? Are you eating the right foods that you should? Resolving that, creating this new rules in the household, creating the new rules of parenthood, handling it more efficiently, resolving family conflicts, resolving psychological blockages where your self-expression is sort of blocked to some extent and you're not able to truly say what you want to say, you're not able to express yourself clearly in a relationship. Those blockages, Saturn sort of forces us in a corner to address by putting pressure on those points, because something has to pain enough sometimes for us to address it. That is just the human mentality. So sometimes Saturn presses those painful points, like a schedule doesn't work, there's a conflict with your mother, there's a conflict with somebody in the family. Some of those things need to happen. Something breaks in the house, those kind of things, for us to sort of get there sometimes. And Saturn behaves like that. The stick is given before the carrot, so we sort of see the pain before the actual growth comes through, and the growth will be seen. The visibility of the positivity of the changes you're making through will come through in the first week of February. The other thing is that it always tests our emotional endurance. It tests our patience, our persistence to some extent. So it's not an easy one. I know this very well because it's playing out in my family. Both my husband, I married a Libra and I gave birth to a Libra. So I know this more than you would believe it. So these kind of changes, they do test your emotional endurance, but they bring about the changes for long term. You are also being impacted by Pluto because we have South Node, Pluto, Saturn, all three of them in your home and family sector for the first time ever. I spoke about it in the past as well. This last is only known to happen in 15th century. So we have never seen this before. But Pluto coming here is very, very powerful. They give you the conviction, it gives you the energy to regenerate this whole process. It gives you sort of the strength, the inner strength to detox your personal life to some extent. Get rid of the patterns which are hidden below the surface, which are sort of ticking time bombs, and you know they are stopping you. This is more about your psychology because Pluto works more at a psychological level. This is happening at 21 degree. So if you have any planets around 21 degree of Libra, or if you're born around 14th of October, you'll see that there is some amount of psychological work that is required, some amount of getting inward to figure out certain emotions, certain things in your inner life that are not serving you, and those are required to be handled for you to come out truly as the leader that you were born to be, to come out with your full potential in terms of your talents. I'll hint to some of those things. Again, these are the things that all of us do. It's just that Pluto will try to increase the pain of those so you can handle them, so you can regenerate from those issues, so you can sort of be the whole person that you want to become. It is the area of growth that comes to us once in many years, and you are sort of gifted one of the relationship signs. I mean, you're the sign of relationship, and as the cosmos will have it, the unique energy is focused on how you handle the relationship, because it's known that that is your area where your strength lies. So the cosmos are sort of coming together and honing your skill. They are adding more excellence to your skill of relating with other people. Some of those hang-ups or some of those issues that might be lying under the surface could be certain damaging attitudes that are rooted in doubt on our ability. That is a number one thing that Pluto wants to remove. Anything that sort of makes us doubt about that, are we truly capable of getting there in terms of our abilities, in terms of being able to put ourselves first, in terms of being able to showcase our talents. That deep rooted fear and doubt is something that Pluto wants to eradicate. Pluto will not have it. It will bug you till you dig deep into your soul and come out with your true power, because it wants you to feel very, very powerful in your core to be able to perform in the external life, to be able to perform and bring your gifts to the world. Essentially, we all have something to contribute, and Pluto wants to make sure that you're not holding your gifts back, essentially. The second thing is the root of sort of relationship with authority figure in your life. There might be certain unhealthy patterns, and I'm sorry to say that I'm a parent myself, so it is not a very happy thing to say, but sometimes parents, in our relationship with our parents, certain unhealthy patterns do come up unknowingly. These are unproductive in our adult life. So are we still carrying some of those issues of our childhood? It could be sort of our creativity being blocked, or we not able to sort of our family values did not think that talking about yourself is a great thing. That's one of the examples that I know I'm pointing about. It could be any of those things, something that was sort of ingrained in us as a value by a family, which is not something that will serve you going forward, which is something that you need to outgrow. You are moving away from your roots. You're doing something that is out of your comfort zone, that is out of the comfort zone of your family and your upbringing. In order to do that, the ties of some of the things that are not serving you, that you've outgrown, the values that you've outgrown that were given to you in the childhood at the time of upbringing, those have to be that cord has to be cut here. The third thing is the interpersonal skills. preparing to interact more with others by addressing what is holding us back to open ourselves up to more people. And the number one thing is that we are a bit scared in terms of getting the feedback that we might get. The hang up of not being accepted to some extent, our identity, our unique identity not being accepted by others. And this is something, a number one reason Pluto wants you to be powerful in your unique identity, because we all have unique gifts to contribute, and we do the whole humanity a disservice by not offering what we came here to offer, by having doubts in the gifts that are given to us by the higher powers, because we are just a channel through who the gifts have to flow. And for you, the gift is actually of relating to other people, making other people comfortable, bringing information to other people, taking a group of people along, forming these one-on-one relationships with people to bring out the best in other people. So we discover in this process, we discover our unique identity, and we sort of are undergoing a test that whether we can stand for our uniqueness, can we sort of stand in our own brand of leadership, because there are different brands of leadership, and Libra has a very unique brand of leadership. Your brand of leadership takes people along. It is not about beating your own drum. It is not over the top energy. It is a subtle, caring, nurturing energy that attracts people to it. Libra is a Venus sign. We attract the people to us, we charm the people towards us. That's your quality, not about forcing yourself on other people. I'm an Aries, I'm the opposite of you. I married a Libran, I'm attracted only to Librans. Every relationship that I've had in my life has been with a Libran or had some elements of Libra in them. That is because we are opposite to each other. The Arian quality is to assert themselves, and the Libran quality is to attract towards yourself. So these are different polarities. So your brand of leadership is different from the brand of leadership you'll see outside. You're not talking about yourself all the time. You're not looking to sort of drum up interest in who you are. You are attracting people by your magnetic personality, by your aura, by you making people comfortable. So being comfortable in this unique way of leadership is sort of what Pluto is trying to do. There will be certain sort of separations probably which might happen from the place of living, a place that belongs to your family, probably a place where maybe there's security needs attached to it. It could be the old home, it could be people who you're living with, and Pluto wants you to sort of be comfortable in being independent to some extent, emotionally, physically. It wants you to nourish yourself. It wants you to sort of take charge of your life, be powerful enough to take charge of your emotional and personal nourishment. It wants you to become independent in nourishing yourself. It's like a baby being delivered from the womb, who's leaving the womb, and now it has to fend for himself in all ways. Not just that, you're reaching a stage where Saturn is acting at the same time, that the child has to suddenly become the head of the family as well. It does not mean that you did not have maturity before, but it is taking you to the next step essentially in your life. And it's Sun and Mercury both have physical body and mind. They are working with Saturn and Pluto. So they're powerful discussions. They're powerful changes in your family life, figuring out how to handle this new way of being in your family situation that might have happened over the first half of the month. So that is where we are coming from. We have the 3 synods that are beautiful. They're bringing about the geopolitical events that we are seeing in the world happen, but at the personal level, how it's affecting you. Saturn and Neptune, that is the first synod that is happening. These 2 planets are coming together. They have a 36-year cycle. It's a very long cycle that is attached to dissolution of communism, which started in 1989 with the fall of Berlin Wall. But this aspect is known to remove an old ideology and replace it with a new long-lasting one. For example, communism was sort of dissolved in 1989, and we are looking at 36 years of growth in democracy, and probably when it ends in 2025, we don't know, maybe that aspect comes back with communism in 2025, as we are talking about made in China going live in 2025, which will bring back the significance of communism. Now, this is at the geopolitical level that this is happening, and I'm not supportive or unsupportive of communism or anything. I'm just drawing parallels from geopolitical events to highlight how it could work in our life. Taking an ideology, taking a thought process, taking a 30,000 feet idea and bringing that into practical life. This is innovation. This is sort of spirituality. This is going beyond boundaries. These are thought processes that are creative in nature being brought into practical life. And for you, these thought processes are coming in your home and family, in the way you manage your relationships, in the way you handle your one-on-one relationships with people. Neptune is trying to dissolve your boundary with other people so as to let very different kind of people, very different kind of influences, and very different kind of family structures in. And while it's doing that, it is modifying and changing your family structure and the kind of parent you are and the kind of family you manage and the way you relate to other people, the way you manage people, that is undergoing change. It is removing your boundaries to make you more accessible, make you more charming, make you more attractive, even more attractive to other people, as well as sensitive to other people, because Neptune improves our intuition by removing the physical boundaries that we might have, the hang-ups, as we say, about other people, or the preconceived notions that we have about other people. It reduces that to make us more open to other people, so we can accept their ideas, we can accept those ideologies, we can bring them into our persona and sort of use the things that are right for us here. A few things to take care of. This is a beautiful aspect to bring something that is just an idea into reality, but from a physical vitality perspective, it can have a negative impact, and I've spoken about it in the last couple of videos as well. From a health perspective, when Neptune is in our health sector and work sector, it reduces our physical boundary, and when it does that, our immunity goes down. So we need to be a little bit careful in terms of who we are exposing ourselves to, what kind of chemicals, what kind of virals maybe, and are we prepared for it. So bumping up our immune system by having the right diet, by detoxing our diet from chemical exposure, and being careful if drugs or alcohol or anything, any of the chemicals, they are bound to impact us more than normal. Taking care of that, essentially. Especially if you have any planets around 14 degree, you will feel the impact. So if you're born around 8th of October, you'll feel the impact much more. So being a little bit careful about, and also in terms of bringing our boundaries down with other people, the balance between your independence versus getting persuaded by other people's outlook, by being unfairly biased on certain situations because we are opening ourselves to somebody else's ideas, by getting too much boundaryless in terms of listening to other people. So people at work would influence you as a result of that, and we want to be sure that that influence is for our benefit, because there might be negative energies, people who are not very happy with the position that you're attaining, and us taking their feedback too personally. We need to be a little bit careful of that. Now this aspect is exact on 31st of January, but you'll feel it from 20th or 21st of January to be very, very strong around the time of eclipse. So we need to be a little bit careful, but at the same time bringing order to your thought processes, bringing order to your inspiration, bringing your inspiration to a physical feel it, touch it format, both in your home and family and your real day-to-day life. This is an excellent energy to do that. Use your intuition, use your hunches, use your practical common sense to filter out your surroundings, so the people who are around you, who are influencing you, especially at work, are the people who you can trust. The second aspect that is happening is Jupiter and Neptune. They're squaring each other. These are two benefics. Neptune is all about creating new creative ideas and intuition, and Jupiter is all about expansion of your commercial reality. These two coming together, certain pie in the sky ideas, you can create commercial value out of them. So there might have been certain work project that you've been thinking about that might have been just out as an idea, a physical idea, a pie in the sky idea that came to you last year. You had a vision for it, you had a thought process for it. Now you can create the requisite communication for it, and it is important time to do that, because 21st of January eclipse is about you launching something to a wider set of audience. Now creating the communication for it, creating the commercial background around it, creating the success, the branding, the acceptance, the media launches, the channeling, the actual write-ups of it, Jupiter helps you do that, and this energy is available to you throughout the year. Jupiter will continue to expand your commercial area, your communication area, your area of day-to-day skill set that you need to convince other people about your point of view. That will continue to grow in 2019 as your social influences grow. Jupiter is one of the blessings that is coming in your commercial area during 2019 to help you in your career. So choose a skill set, choose a project, choose a communication project that you really want to do and work on that. 22nd of January, Jupiter is meeting Venus. That is a beautiful time to launch something commercial, to brand something, to offer something, to send an email of introduction to a new idea, to send a launch of something to a wider set of people, to convince people about some new skill set that you've acquired, or just channeling an idea through. You have to focus this energy. Jupiter is an expansive planet, so the communication level and the information coming towards you and the kind of projects coming towards you will just grow in size. So we need to focus them, filter them out, use Saturn to see what brings you to the next level, and focus only on the ones that are adding knowledge to you, that are adding skill set to you, that are bringing you to the next level in your career. You're looking to expand your analytical skills, even your overall mind. This is about broadening your analytical mind by acquiring more information. It is like your mind is like a sponge. You are absorbing a lot more information during this time period, and that is, as I said, available to you throughout the year. But right now, especially at 14 degree, if you have any planets around 8, if you're born around 8th of October, in fact 5th to 11th of October will feel the Jupiter positive influence very, very much. So if you have any planets around 12 to 18 degree, you'll feel the influence of Jupiter very, very strongly. Which is about expansion of your analytical mind. Read a lot, expose yourself to new skill set, learn a new language. You can actually do that during the course of 2019. Writing, studying something, and you'll do it very fast. You'll be surprised at how easily you acquire a new skill during the course of 2019. The thing to look out for this is because Jupiter is expanding your mind, and Neptune is reducing the boundaries of our mind, so we can absorb certain new sort of outlooks, new ideas. We can accept that actually some of the ideas that are inspirational can actually happen, but because of that our mind becomes very permissible. This aspect is known to make people's mind more permissible because of so there could be new influences that can come through. So it is a very permissive aspect. But at the same time, this aspect is attached to both the rise of Hitler as well as the rise of Roosevelt. So we don't know whether it is a positive influence or a negative influence. These are not discretionary planets. They expand an ideology, and they sort of filter through that slowly into our mind and make it a belief. So do you want what's coming towards you as a belief or not? We need to be mindful of the influence that we are exposing ourselves to during the course of this month. And again, this aspect will repeat during the course of the year, just as Saturn and Neptune will repeat repeat 3 times during the course of 2019. This is just the seeding of an idea, a start of a process which will expand during the course of 2019. The Jupiter and Neptune aspect will again repeat itself in June, and then September. Saturn and Neptune will repeat in June as well, and then in November. I'll talk about it, of course, when the month arrives, but I'm just letting you know that this is not the last time these aspects are happening. The third aspect that is happening, which will color the January and you need to be aware of for 2019 in general, is that Jupiter is forming a sesqui square with Uranus. This is an aspect which is known to sort of bring innovation, exciting, disruptive ideas to some extent. Now, this is happening in your partnership sector and your immediate environment. So the way you relate to people is undergoing some amount of innovation. You're bringing innovation to your surrounding through change in your partnerships, change in the kind of people you connect with, change in the way your partners are. Maybe your business partner or your marriage partner is undergoing a change of sorts, and your own outlook to life is changing as a result of it. Your own thought process is changing as a result of that, and also you're looking to sort of communicate that change. You're looking to publicize that change. But sesqui square is a very creative, very groundbreaking sort of an aspect, but it causes a bit of frustration because you're pushed to do what you don't yet know how to. You're sort of pushed to connect with people in a very unique way, but you're just learning to do it. So the oversharing is not a good idea in this case. It is suggested that the enthusiasm is high in this aspect, but what we share with others, it requires a little bit of discretion. So this is a very impulsive aspect, but at this stage, it may be that your ideas, the launch that you're trying to do, there might be certain people who may not be ready for it, or the idea itself might require a little bit more work. So you might want to test it out on a few people before you introduce to a large set of people. Or your partner might be undergoing some amount of changes that requires more work before it is sort of introduced to the surrounding, or it's made big. This is the commercial success of a partnership that you're creating. It is the commercial success of the change you're creating in terms of relating to other people. And it's just saying that the commercial success, this windfall of sorts, the wider acceptance of that might take a little bit of time to come. And on 15th of December 2019, Jupiter and Uranus will start making a trine with each other, and that is when I feel that the sort of the coming through, the sudden fitting in together will happen. I know it feels long time coming, but December is when sort of the full power, the full energy of the positivity of this effect will be visible to you. So this was the impact of the first eclipse that happened, as well as how it will affect the rest of the month and the initial part of February, or the first 6 months of the year, and about the 3 synods that will color your 2019. Now let's get into the details of 21st of January eclipse, which is coming with a little bit of surprise. A little bit of surprise shifts that will modify the way we sort of are in our relationships, in our partnership, and the way we are releasing certain hang-ups to be able to launch something out to a wider set of audience. The first of those aspects is that Uranus is making a cardinal T-square with North Node and South Node, as well as the Sun. We are looking at some sort of blockage in our partnership released so we can attain more security, more emotional fulfillment out of our partnerships. Now this could be your committed partnership, some sort of compromise, some sort of emotional blockage, discussion maybe has happened, or a sudden resolution comes about in that partnership one way or the other to attain a more peaceful home environment. And this is happening as a result of your effort. This is happening as a result of you taking the leadership role and setting something to order, and you sort of see the fruits of that coming through between 16th to 20th of January, which sort of creates the peace in your foundations that you need to progress to the next level in your career. There might be something in your home and family life that needed to be changed, because either the way your partnerships are has changed, or your partner has changed, or what's happening in your partner's life has changed, and hence the home environment, the way you both connect, the way you connect might need to be changed. Now this could be very much a business partnership as well. I've so far been talking about personal partnership or marriage partner, but it could be a business partner as well. Maybe there was a relocation of office required to make the partnership work, or some amount of changes in the way you connect with your business partner that was required, some amount of things that were not spoken, that did not come out, that were not agreed, that need to come out. And this impulsive aspect that is happening, it is bringing that out, it is breaking you out of your shell. That is the key output of this, you coming out of your shell, you coming out of your comfort zone and saying what you truly mean to your partners, to the people you connect with, so you come out in your full power. There are 3 degrees that are activated during the course of this T-square. The first is that you are releasing something in your home and family or your emotional foundations that is not serving you. Now that is happening at 29 degree of Capricorn. This is a very potent degree. It is a degree that in symbolic astrology is shown as a dissatisfied, disheveled sculpture who sort of throws a large clay mold of himself into a pool of water. And as he watches his own clay mold, old mold of himself dissolve, a new approach emerges. You sort of are dissolving your old mold. You've thought about it, you want to change it, you want to sort of modify the way you handle your partnerships or the way you are in your partnership. You want to remove the hang-ups, you want to feel powerful, you want to speak up, you want a clarity. Because before we got there, Uranus was at 28 degree of Aries. That is a degree of debunking the fake. You don't want to have any unsaid things, any fake, any insincere within us or outside has to be given up. This is an aspect of freedom from fake, a psychological checkup, of waking up to both mentally and physically. So there is a lot of truth, a lot of boldness to this aspect of handling situation head on, and you're doing that both in your personal life and in your professional life. This is the aspect of you not holding back anymore. It's actually a very, very impulsive aspect. It might make you jump out of your skin to some extent. It is like coming out of character. You might see a side of yourself that you've not seen before. It is a radical change of environment that Uranus does, and there's a clear breaking away from an old persona to a new persona. You'll find yourself become really different as a result of this event, as a result of this boldness, as a result of this independence from having any sort of sometimes we sugarcoat things to make other people comfortable. You're not doing that. You're handling something direct head on. It doesn't mean you're being rude or anything, but this is just giving up the whole trying to make anybody comfortable, coming out of your own comfort zone and saying what you need to say. There's a sort of judgment as well. There is a judgment of sorts here. You're looking at both sides, which is your natural sense. This is not unfair to anybody. You're sort of confronting something head on, but in the process you're still being fair here. You're being fair to yourself, you're being fair to the other people. You're just releasing certain patterns, certain responsibilities, certain way of connecting at the very basic level that is not helping you, that is not helping your partner, that is not helping the ship go forward essentially. So this is a very beautiful aspect, this sort of dismantling the old, releasing the old concept of how to handle a family, how to handle your home environment, how to say or not say certain things, having our emotional boundaries broken to some extent so we can say what we need to say, we can express ourselves clearly, is something that is required for our new approach to emerge, because our approach to relationship has to change. Uranus has been in your partnership sector for the last 7 years. Uranus, and now it is at the last degree. There's a urgency to the change required because Uranus is there only till 6th of March. The last couple of degrees are the degrees of impulse, the degree of urgency to handle and get to the innovation in this partnership, getting to the freedom in this partnership. And it might, in few specific cases, unfortunately, it might mean that the relationship has to be let go, because the way to be free in this partnership is probably for the two partners to not be together. I'm sorry to say that, but sometimes that conclusion has to come. And this, even though this is a wild card, even this has been in making since October of 2018, because that's when this aspect was repeated. But at the time, Uranus was sort of retrograde, it was moving inward. So this realization was more like an epiphany or something that was inkling inside us, but the external manifestation of that did not happen at the time because Uranus was not moving forward. We saw this happen, this aspect happen also during the elections, the US elections. We'll see the play out of that happen because at that time Uranus was backward. So the result of that election and the result of that affecting in tangible ways of our operation will show up to some extent. At the same time, this is related to Brexit as well. The thought process, the change has been done, but the external manifestation of that change happens with Uranus moving forward, and things change as a result of that because of karmic events, because of fated sudden events that happen, which have a surprise element to it, and we surprise ourselves in the process of it. This is also coming with a few helpful aspects that are coming. It's not coming without its requisite support. There are certain beautiful aspects that are developing, while Uranus, which is the trigger, which is the sudden insight, which is the sudden change that is coming, a revolutionary change coming in your relationship, which is opening your mind to new possibility. It is sort of an internal explosion which is putting you in a, which is sort of moving you into a new direction in your partnership, which is unlocking some sort of fear or hurt which was there in your mind to some extent, because Chiron is making a contact with that, maybe a fear of and sort of this was Chiron is in your 6th house. There's some sort of healing in your health that happens as a result of this change in your home and family. Some sort of taking care of your physical body, your physical and mental health, that is taken care of. Chiron unlocks that in your health area as a result of you handling this situation. Now, this could be a pure and simple, especially if you are any early degrees of Libra. It could simply be a change in routine in your home and family, or the way you express yourself to the to your partner, that is getting released. But if you have any planets around 26 degree, or if you're born around 15th of October, then you will see much more significant events happen as a result of that if we have not been ahead of the curve. This is also the birth date of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So if people, there are a lot of people who are fans of that Democrat. I hope I'm saying her name correctly, but that is the birth date of her as well. So looking at changing and innovating our partnership and handling our security. A new approach to career might come up as a result of that, because we are giving up some amount of insecurity, some amount of hang up to not approach our career in our life, because something in your internal life has to go for you to sort of handle your career head on, because North Node at 29 degree of Cancer is a very bold aspect to have. It is a very directional, very sort of realistic as well, but very directional and bold step being taken in your career. Now, what's happening in terms of your support system, that is coming around 18th of January, and you'll feel it all the way till 20th of January, is that Venus and Mars are coming together, which is basically what is in our heart. We are acting on it. And what is in your heart is that you like to say what you truly want. The courage to get what you want in terms of communicating effectively, in terms of making your point, You're sort of forging the right kind of partnerships by being open, the courage to get what you want in a partnership, the courage to speak and to reach out honestly is something that you're doing, and it's a very constructive energy. So your communication area is supported and corroborated with the way you're acting in the partnerships. Despite this internal shift, which is very impulsive, you are acting very productively. This is very much true if you have any planets around 11 degree. So 4th of October born, or roundabout of that, using this energy from 18th to 20th of January to make a partnership happen, to make a commercial deal happen, to make a client deal happen. Excellent energy to have that on 18th and 20th of January. Mercury and Pluto are meeting together. This adds very, very much strength in your core. This is a very influential energy to have, especially if you're communicating, making a speech, or you want to sort of transform your own identity to convince others about you. It is very transformative in terms of your ego, your life direction, your self-confidence. It is a challenge to show your power, especially if you have any planets around 21 degree. So if you're born around 14th of October, you'll feel the power of Pluto detoxing your emotional environment, detoxing your home, giving you the power in your core. Some people would actually go through these profound discussions, deep thinking and power talks that will transform their family and emotional life, and that is very beautiful. From 17th to 19th of January, or around 18th of January, you could have that come about. Now Venus and Neptune are squaring each other, so there might be some confusion, especially if you have any planets around 14 degree. You want to be careful if there is are we sort of creating conversations that are giving too much of your information away, because Neptune is reducing your boundaries. But just be careful in terms of who are you sharing the information with. Be a little bit careful about that. Are these the right colleagues? Are these your true supporters who you're having conversations with? But it is a great energy. These are two of the planets that when they come together, our intuition is heightened. Using more of your intuitive power versus the analytical power is what I would suggest you from 19th to 21st. Use your sixth sense more to suss out what is the right way to go, what is the right way to convince a room, because Neptune is in your sixth house, your boundaries with the people. It's like you can sense what your colleagues, what your co-workers, what the people around you are feeling about the idea that you are introducing to them. Using that to your advantage is something that I would suggest to you, because it sort of has its downside, so take advantage of the upside of it as well. From 19th to 21st of January. Then we have on 21st of January a ground breaking aspect, which is Mars and Saturn are shattering each other. There is some old mold, as I said, it has to be broken, it has to be sort of broken into pieces by you acting, by you taking the requisite steps, by you sort of taking the initiative to reach out to people, form those partnerships, create those relationships with people who would be of benefit to you, both in your personal life as well as in your business life. These are one-on-one relationships. This is something where you're breaking the pattern of how you relate to people, how do you create connection, breaking your old habits of maybe you were not so open in reaching out to people, but you're creating certain long-term partnerships by coming out of the shell to some extent. And this is very true if you have any planets around 14 degree, or if you're born around 7th of January, you'll see that come about. 18th of January is also when the new moon of December, Jupiter will be revisiting that. That was about your new launch, and that is what is coming about with 21st of January. The energy is so positive to launch something, to introduce an idea, to create a popularity, a fan set, for example, for some business idea that you have. It could be a new project, it could be a social network you want to convince about, you want to create a fan base, you want to create a popularity, you want to sort of increase your stream of income by introducing certain new goals, introduce a new idea that will generate value over the long term for you. You are creating a sort of set of people who are your supporters as a result of this new launch that you're doing around 21st of January, and it makes a beautiful aspect with you. It makes a sextile with you, which means that the opportunity will flow towards you. This is a culmination of the last 1.5 years of your effort of trying to create a space for yourself. You have put in a lot of effort to come to this point. You're trying to contribute to the wider world. You're trying to create it could be a creative contribution that you're trying to make in the world, and you'll find your social supporters, you'll find your clan, you'll find your group, you'll find the set of people, the friendships, the mentorships who will support you, who will be of influence, who will support you in the next level in your career. And what is happening with this is that Uranus is a participant here. So there are, again, as I said, surprising communications, surprising interactions that will happen as ahead of this eclipse on 21st, as well as a follow-up to this, because Mercury will also make this T-square that I talked about. So from 22nd to 24th, you will have certain very beautiful, surprising conversations to some extent that will help you bring this idea which will sort of help you bring this idea to a success. The idea that you're coming up with, or a project that you're coming up with, that you're introducing to other people. On 22nd of January is the best day to launch that idea, because Venus and Jupiter, the two great benefic, the best planets that are there for luck, for creativity, for expanding our commercial destiny, they're coming together for the first time in 12 years in your commercial house, in your community house, in your branding house on 22nd of January, and Mars is supporting it all the way till 28th of January. So you can act on these ideas, you can act on this commercial destiny that you're sort of starting right now. And Mars and Jupiter working together till 28th of January, your actions will have beneficial impact commercially on you, on your commercial value, on sort of the presence that you have. The thing to be careful about is more towards 1st of February, because Mars is going to make a square with Pluto. That is when some sort of ego conflict might build up. Again, I mean, everybody cannot be happy with what you're doing. This could be in your personal life as well. It looks like an ego struggle. But at the same time, as I said, there are certain emotional boundaries that have to change in 2019. So you will feel very powerful enough to handle this kind of conflict, because you're handling the basic issues, you're handling the foundational issues, and you're feeling strong in your core. And that's exactly what we do. February, and also from 24th of January, we have both Mercury and Sun in your 5th house of joy. So this is a very, very beautiful, joyful time to spend with children, time to spend in creativity, time to do something that brings joy to you in February. And that will start from 20th of January. You'll start feeling this easing of energy towards you, because both Sun and Mercury start making a positive aspect to you. So you feel it both in the way you're communicating with people and in the way your physical persona, your physical energy will feel easy. But there are few things about the 21st of January eclipse that I want to talk about, because it is a blood supermoon eclipse. So there are certain things that a eclipse of this sort comes with, because it is a supermoon, which means that the moon will be closest to Earth. So the surface of the fluids undergo a tense process when that happens. So 21st of January, even a day ahead of that, we need to be a little bit careful of a few things. This is a very ambitious eclipse. It is a sheer outburst of your personal power and potential, because it's happening at 1 degree Leo. So the kind of changes that you're initiating in the social network right now, the people who will become your supporters will stay for long term. You're creating something long term here because of the fixed sign and the 1 degree of Leo that it involves. But because of it being a super moon, which is beautiful, it will be visible in the west, especially in North America and South America, and some parts of Europe and northwest of Africa should be able to do it. But because of it being a big super moon, it can cause flooding in some cases. So we need to be a little bit careful if we are in an area which is flooding prone or even earthquake prone. Looking back to when this happened last time, because these eclipses happen in series. So the last eclipse in the same Soro series, which is 134, happened in 2000. So 21st of Jan 2000 is when the last eclipse in this series happened. So you can look back to 21st of January 2000 as to what happened in your life at the time, because those things might repeat. If 2000 is too long back to sort of look at, you can look at maybe 2007 to 2009, December of 2007 to 2009, especially look at 2009. What concluded in your social presence in 2009? What kind of changes did you make about something in that area would undergo a modification? Something will be given to you in that area, because at the time something was taken from you in 2009. Something will be given to you in that area right now. From the overall nature of that eclipse, as I said, I mean, Leo eclipses are a little bit tense because they are over the top, because it involves a solar energy and because Earth's shadow is on the moon. So it's very impulsive, very emotional, but very, very directional and actional. We are looking to end some old cycle and for freedom and for excitement in our life. We are looking to growth, to a future which requires sort of clarity. A clearing of the old path is required. It is a degree of Margaret Thatcher's Iron Will Lady. It is the degree of Madonna's Dare. So it's a very powerful, very, very bold eclipse that's happening. Sun will be meeting with Altair right now, which is the star of Aquila. It is a very bold, fiery, but because of that there is a chances of overheating that happens. Leo eclipses come with overheating to some extent, so being a little bit careful in terms of keeping ourselves hydrated, keeping ourselves especially if we have any health ailments related to heart, blood pressure, migraine, or temper, or spinal cord or back issues, which are sensitive areas which happen during this kind of eclipse. We need to be a little bit careful about that. Similarly, this is a very powerful eclipse. Any kind of power surges, if we are in an area which is close to a power plant, being a little bit careful about power surges when we are using our appliances, ovens, etc., them not getting overheated, because overheat, power surges, rise and fall, over volatility in the markets, in the financial markets, are the traits of Leo eclipses. And we are already seeing that 1 week ahead of that eclipse, that the markets are undergoing critical volatile period at this point in time. More importantly, Leo is the sign of king, so volatility in the leadership is sometimes seen as a result of that. But as I said, at a personal level for you, the energy is beautiful, it is flowing for you. I would, if I am you, I would launch something which will help me achieve better results in terms of acceptance of it, in terms of following of it, in terms of forming the right kind of networks, the right kind of sponsors for me, even on a friendship level. It throws a light on your friendship sector, forming and forging new partnerships that will be there for you, because you sort of changed how you're relating to people, both in your personal area as well as your professional area. And as a relationship sign, that is a beautiful gift that you give to anybody, the gift of your partnership and the gift of your friendship. I would always appreciate that myself at a personal level. Thank you so much, and I hope you find this useful. Good luck to you, and I'll see you during the course of February's reading now. Thank you.